Hey fellas, before I begin this review, one last guess hint about my video tomorrow that despite using some elements from the animated TV series, the game I'm going to be talking about is mostly pulled from the graphic novel series, series at the time. So, with that in mind, let's talk about Shazam! Fury of the Gods, the sequel to the 2019 hit film. Well, this movie's not quite the breath of fresh air that film was. I just have fun with it, and it's one of the two DC projects I'm going to be committed to this year. The other two I'm not so sure about, but we'll get to that by coming attraction. So let's get started. So the of the cast, as well as director David F. Sandberg, have returned. While most of the cast, and while it would have been interesting to see Mark Strong return, as well as Mr. Mind, and maybe if they make a third one under the new leadership. But in their stead, we have a new threat in Daughters of Atlas, played by a newcomers Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and Rachel Ziegler. All three actresses I definitely understand the material quite well, especially in the case of Ziegler, who is the youngest of them, and especially like in things they do with Greek mythology, especially in the denouement, the final battle, and all in Philadelphia. I'm not going to spoil why here, but you give an idea of how much of the weave will loop, even if the director had mixed feelings of how some of these leaks went. Yeah. Well, I'm not certain where the series will go from here, especially on their new leadership. I am interested in a lot of what they've teased so far, especially this Waller series he's working on as well. I mean, if they make a third film, I would not mind if they brought back like Mr. Mine as well as Mark Strong and Savannah. So, and anyway, well, I may not. I mean, my only real beef with this one is I kind of play it safe, at least until the denouement. I mean, I would say that's not quite the breath of fresh air the last movie was, but it was fun at least. I mean, and hopefully it does well. That's how that both that they'll make another one in the new DCU, whatever the heck they end up calling it. I mean, so I'm going to give this like a fun 3 stars. Or out of 4, 3.5 at the most. So that's like 4 out of 5, like 4.5 out of 5 at least. So let's get into coming attractions. Let's go release order just to keep things manageable. March 24th, so next week, John Wick Chapter 4, picking up where the last movie left off. John Wick faces Destiny and the High Table. Well, and given how the pedigree of this series so far, I mean, early responses are uniformly positive. I'm especially liking the presence of Donnie Yen and how he actually made his character her a bit more accurate. So I definitely didn't have a problem with him in this movie, nor with him at the Oscars. I did not sign that petition. And then, much like The Matrix, hence that poster I got next to my Sith poster, there's something I've never been able to say no to about having Keanu, who's in an action film wearing all black. So definitely going to be going to that one. Okay, so March 31st, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Well, there may be Honor Among Thieves, but there certainly is no Honor Among Wizards of the Coast. I mean, yeah, I'm still kind of ticked off, at least in solidarity, about what they were doing with the OGL. Hell, and a lot of videos about that and how badly it went down. They may have finally completely walked back their decision, but I'm just gonna say I'm gonna wait for it to come on Paramount Plus. It still looks like an interesting movie and way better than the one they had in 2000. Who knows? Maybe I'll look at that in the near future. I mean, at least it looks like got more effort put into it than that, and a lot of people like it, like Chris Pine, Hugh Grant, Justice Smith, a whole slew of them. Yeah. No. Okay, so April the 5th, 2 days earlier than originally was planning on. Super Mario, it's a blast from the past. Yeah. I mean, I may not care for that one, but it's definitely got a catchy song. But this film looks like it'll come full circle from the infamy of the 1993 film, and definitely, hey, most people seem to be on board with it, as well as liking like these SNL sketch where they mash up The Last of Us. I mean, where, but still, I think it should be fun. And as we learned from the Lego Movie, is one, not to sell a production like this short, and two, that Christmas more than capable of playing like a unlikely hero that does exist, as we learned from Emmett. I mean, he may not be a master builder, but maybe he'll be a Super Mario, so to speak. Definitely look like it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. April 14th, the following week, we have Renfield with Nicolas Cage as Dracula, and I definitely think this one has potential and as a sort of dark comedy. And even though I'm not certain how well it'll do, given how I think it's another date change it had, it was going to come out this month. I mean, then it swapped dates with something else, but much like the Unbearable Weight Massive Talent last year, it could be. I'm not sure if it'll be a huge hit. I don't see them making any Funko Pops or McDonald's films out of this movie, but at the very least, it should be entertaining. And I also kind of leaned into my. I have this fellow people compare me to Cage in the past as well. So kind of age. I mean, heck, I'm still advocating on board for like this rumored Con Air sequel. And initially, everybody didn't see as the original was. I mean, put the bunny back in the box, you know? Yeah. June 16th, The Flash. And as I mentioned before, I'm officially not gonna be going right to that when it opens. And so, and it's not just because of Miller's off-screen antics or the executives or the Batgirl situation. I just don't think it looks that interesting, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, they're trying to say it's as good as The Dark Knight or No Way Home, but at my most optimistic, I think it looks more like Justice League. Like, if I'm being pessimistic at the most, it looks like the infamous Green Lantern, which is still trying to get off the ground again. And I mean, I'm not saying I would never see it. I hope to be proven wrong, but I will say that I'm gonna be seeing other films and talking about those instead that month. I mean, same with Blue Beetle. Oh, because I'm probably gonna go and see Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem instead. I mean, because I mean, when the CW show endings gain more traction and this movie's been getting compared unfavorably to the CW original character, you know something's gone wrong. I mean, the $200 million budget at minimum, I've seen some estimates that have gone higher and I believe them. Um, it's definitely has a lot riding on this film, regardless of how well it does. I mean, and even though their current plan is to keep Ezra around, the way they worded that seems to imply it's going to be dependent on how well this movie does financially. And given what I just said, like I said, uphill battle in their hands. Not even Michael Keaton back as Batman the first time in over 30 years can save it, and I love that version of the character. I mean, that'll be all for now. I'll see you tomorrow, my St. Patrick's Day surprise, dudes.